Because unfortunately, the Labour Party have made it that way. The Labour Party have made it that way. And it's been the left's interest. The left in general and the Labour Party.
Why the left?
Why do you not understand this?
I fundamentally don't. I'm completely baffled.
Explain to me why you don't understand that.
Because well, explain to me.
The truth is, he doesn't understand it at the most basic level. And that's exactly why this issue exists in the first place. In this video, you're about to see a Labour defender completely break down when he's faced with the simple facts of the UK housing crisis. You'll watch as Peter Barnes aggressively highlights and exposes the queue-jumping scandal. You'll also catch the exact point where the act drops when Sebastian claims twice that Peter is insulting his intelligence. And in the end, you'll hear him admit that he genuinely cannot understand why people in Britain would be angry about all this. If you'd like to see more content like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the notification bell so you never miss an upload. All right, now let's sit back and watch this demolition together, and I'll catch you again at the end.
Powys have confirmed they're keen to take part in the scheme. How's this going to go down with my viewers and listeners, do you think, Peter Barnes?
I think this is going to go down like a cup of hot sick, if I'm being brutally honest, because yes, again, this is looking like the people who have come here illegally seem to get everything. Everybody in this country seem to get nothing. That narrative, at this time, to do it makes no sense, because you've just created the perfect wedge issue as we go into local elections. This is just terrible politics, and it's just terrible policy. I mean,
why is it terrible policy?
Because fundamentally, where have you magicked the £100 million from to this extra funding into this scheme? Where's that come from? It all just seems to have been announced on the huff because they seem to have to do something. Because yet again, this is the Labour Party being incapable of having the political courage to dismantle the ECHR, dismantle the refugee convention.
You're not concerned about the billions we're paying to private companies to house asylum seekers?
Loads. But we can't do. I don't want to. The easiest way to do that is to leave the ECHR.
Would you like to reduce that number that we're spending on asylum hotels?
Yes, massively, to zero.
So this policy will do that?
No,
reduce
it won't reduce
the
it.
Spending we're giving to private companies?
Yes.
Why won't it?
Because yet again, this is the same thing that we hear time and time again, that unfortunately that's not how this will work, because you'll then find that these companies will have investments in the building firms and all the rest of it. These companies aren't just a one single block. That's the point.
But if you use public money to buy houses that you put asylum seekers in, you don't then have to house those asylum seekers in housing that is paid for it's owned by private companies.
Yes, I understand the logic of that.
Money.
Yes, but
well, so
do we really think it's going to be a stop at 100 million? Do we really think it's going to be delivered on time? Do we really think anything is going to be actually deliverable?
That's speculation. We can't see the future. But what I'm asking you, Peter, is it a good policy? And I think it is, and you seem to have accepted it is as well, because it's going to save taxpayer money.
Because on the fundamental basis, do you know what I actually care about? Giving the people of this country the £100 million to build council houses so they can live in them.
And they will, because as you know,
this is specifically for refurbished homes for asylum seekers.
So have a look
so
at the policy.
How is that for the local people?
Because, as you know, these are being leased to local councils for 10 years, then they are going to be...
Oh, so the people in this country have to get to the back of the queue. Is that what the Labour Party are now arguing?
If you allow me to, and I'm sorry that I'm explaining the policy to you, this feels awkward, but you know they're going to be used for asylum seekers for 10 years, then they're going to be used by councils for whatever they want.
So yet again, the Labour Party's position is Brits to the back of the queue, asylum seekers to the front of the queue.
No, it's save taxpayer money and then create council houses that last forever.
So why not put Brits at the front of the queue?
Brits are at the front.
But you just said asylum seekers at the front of the queue.
What queue are we talking about?
Well, I'll give you the queue. The queue of 1.3 million people who are currently sitting on a housing waiting list.
Yes.
1.3 million people. So I think the 1.4 should be the asylum seekers. And the first 1.3 would go to Brits.
But you've talked about a queue. Which queue are you talking about?
That queue. The list of people that need a council house that is being ignored, put to the back of the queue for people that are coming to this country.
That list has gone up 3% under Labour, by the way. People waiting for social housing.
Look, I think I'm the only councillor in the room. I really hate to explain all this, but this is not one queue. There is a queue that if you come and you need council housing, you are banded, and that is done on a needs assessment. So it doesn't matter where you're from. The most important thing is how badly are you in need.
There's a lot of people in need at a lot of different levels.
Terribly
no one's
ill,
denying
you've got a lot of children, you're not making enough money, you're going to be banded quite highly.
Who came to this country illegally at the front,
Peter,
and everybody else
goes the facts to you, and you're desperate to spit out rhetoric. I know this will go down well with viewers and listeners.
No, I don't really care about that, as everybody knows.
They're going to love to hear
one at a time.
This is the fundamental nature of this policy, is that some people get to jump the queue.
What's really frustrating is here you come not equipped with the facts, and you're reaching for rhetoric because it's easy, because it goes down well with your...
Says the one. I'm sorry, talking about taxpayer money.
You've accepted that this will save taxpayers money. So you conceded on that point.
On a speculation,
in the short term.
by the way, to
in the
use your
short term.
word, in the speculation, because you just by your
do
own
I have to
argument.
repeat this?
Yes.
The point is at the moment is that people are more angry about them being in hotels, and I think this is an effort to get people out of hotels.
No matter where you house them, they don't want them in the country. I think that's the anger. This is what the Labour Party have really got wrong. They think if you just keep moving them around, then the anger will go away. People want them out of the country, and that rightly, that supply stopped. That's how you fix the problem. All you're doing is shuffling pieces around the board. You're not aiming to win the game.
Well, let's take another angle to this, which is right to hotels, and you can take them out and put them into a derelict property. That's a good thing. And then if 10 years' time that reverts to the council and they can use that for anybody who needs it, then overall everybody is helped.
Has to put up and shut up then for 10 years. Is that the argument?
So. Did I say that?
No. Well, essentially you did,
No,
because
I
you
don't
said
think so.
you
That's
say
a
that they've
gross
got to wait
misunderstanding.
because you've got to wait 10 years for this 1.3 million people that are
Well, yes,
waiting
because-
right now that apparently aren't as important as the asylum seekers.
You're
This
assuming that
policy
we aren't,
is
that nobody's
specifically
building
flawed.
council houses.
Clearly not at the rate that we need.
They are.
Not at the rate that we need.
Of course not at the rate that we need. Of
So
course
these
not.
ones that we're building specifically for a group of people that aren't people that are taxpayers and need help. We're giving it to people who came here illegally. That's what we're doing.
And your solution is let's boot them all out.
Well, I would like to.
What kind
at
of a
some point.
Britain are you? What kind of a Britain are you when you say nobody must come to our country and
Well,
seek
I
our
didn't
help
say that
from
either,
war-torn
Sebastian.
countries?
No,
You
I
did
didn't.
because you
No,
said.
I didn't.
Well, do you want any asylum? Well, let's focus on this. Do you want any asylum seekers in this country?
If you come with a legitimate cause, yes. My problem is I don't agree with most of the legitimate causes.
Peter, do you understand how the asylum system
Yes,
works?
please continue to insult my intelligence.
Well,
every
no,
time we
because
sit
you've
together.
just betrayed a complete misunderstanding of the asylum system. People come and we test them. We decide.
test.
But
You
is it
can't-
easy with...
Well, that is literally what the asylum system is.
This is the point, is I've
How
just
can you-
said
that's
I don't
such a
agree.
basic tenet.
Yes, because if you actually
Peter,
listen
if
to
you're going to come on
Sebastian
here and
again-
debate, have the facts at
for the
hand,
love of it.
please.
Again, if
please.
you actually listen to what I said I don't agree with the claims that
So
are being
what?
made.
So only-
which means
only
I
honest
don't agree
brokers
with the
should turn
tests,
up.
as I've sat in that chair and in that one, and said multiple times.
Okay,
The
so
problem
what's
is
your
also
dream
the
asylum
tests and the
system?
system.
What would it look like?
It needs to be significantly more robust than what we've got now, and it needs to be making sure that we can verify claims, we know who people are, and all this kind of thing. The problem is now we just seem to have rubber stamp everybody. We have one of the highest percentage rated of asylum approvals.
Yes,
The
right.
President
I don't
said-
know why you're taking
Sudan
a bullet
and
for,
Afghanistan.
I don't know why you're taking a bullet for the folk that come across the channel from a safe country in France in boats, many of whom are economic migrants.
Well, if they are, then they'll have their asylum denied and they'll be sent away, won't they?
And that's the thing. And Peter, they don't, because the
don't,
majority
I'm afraid.
are granted asylum.
And I would have
Partly because human rights lawyers tell them how to game the system and how to play a game.
Okay,
and
Peter,
how to-
you sound very confident on this. Could you please...
including becoming Christians. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
that's a fun
I'm
one.
amazed how many people from
Russell Brand, Tommy Robinson.
I'm amazed by how many people have become Christians once they cross the
I would
channel
also
in a dinghy.
remember the Illegal Migration Act that was passed just before the last general election has I think it's Article 3, that if you come into the country illegally, you don't get to claim asylum. That was not activated by the Labour government. Why?
Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened to the backlog? It shot up because they essentially tied their own hands legally. A big part of the reason we're in this position now is because the Tories passed that law.
No, not really, because if you get put on a dinghy, go back. You hit the British shores. I don't understand why you aren't put on a bus straight to the airport. Off you go.
Well, there's a little step in the middle,
you've
which is
just
called
decided
claiming
that
asylum.
you get to jump the queue.
What is this queue? What is this queue?
It's called prioritising people.
What's the name of this queue that you've come up with today?
Come on, let's be real, Sebastian. You've already admitted that you prioritise people. That is the definition of a queue, where you put people in categories.
There are multiple queues in this world,
Yes.
and you're talking about the queue as if it's this all-seeing,
It's a general term in which what we have to understand is who is getting the preferential treatment by the
why
system
are you
and
so
by the
okay?
state.
Answer me this: why are you so determined to pit people against each other?
I'm not.
Well, you are.
The
Not
government
really.
isn't the
You
government
are.
doing
You're,
that.
you're talking about the Brits versus the asylum seekers.
At
Why
the
are you
minute,
doing that?
Because unfortunately the Labour
whose
Party have
interest is
made
it?
it
Whose
that way.
interest is it
The
in to
Labour
create that
Party have
conflict?
made it that way. And
Whose
it's been the
interest
left's
is it in to
interest.
create that
The
conflict?
left in
Why
general
the
and the
left?
Labour Party.
Why the left?
Why do you not understand this?
I fundamentally don't. I'm completely
Explain to me
baffled
why you
with
don't
what-
understand that.
Because well, explain to me what your point is.
There
what he's saying is that we can't take the majority of people, then he's completely right. And
Well,
in
I
fact,
thought we
that's
had a
not
duty to,
what
according
is
to you.
No,
So
not...
at what point does our duty end?
Okay, so I'm going to finish my sentence now, and I'm going to say that the majority of people don't come to Britain or France or Germany. The majority of people stay in the Middle East and stay in Africa, and they seek asylum nearby.
Perfectly fine, and I understand that. However, again, where does our duty end? Because you said we had a duty to do this. Where does our duty end? That's what people in this country want the answer to.
We have a duty
because we
to
have seemed to have
process
rolled
claims.
out. Yes, we seem to have rolled out all this stuff. Now they're getting housing, hotels, benefits, legal advice, all the rest of it. When do we say no? When have we done our bit?
Well, we often say no. We often tell people...
Well, we don't compared to most other countries.
Well, we do.
keep saying yes.
We
That's
do.
half the problem.
Well, our rate of enforced deportations have gone up over the last year.
Well,
so
why do
more
you've got
people
a,
are
you've got a
being
number
sent
of
away
foreign
against
leaders
their
that wish it
will
was a little bit lower.
because we're saying to them, I'm sorry, you do not meet the threshold for asylum. We're going to have to move you on.
That number is nowhere near
You
what it
mentioned
should
10
be.
years. You held the carrot on the stick of 10 years, and then this housing will be released for the 1.3 million people waiting for social housing who are actually British people. Derek's not sure about that. He said, where are these migrants going to go in 10 years' time? A hotel?
I don't know. It's hard to look forward 10 years, isn't it?
But you said that the property will be released in about a decade's time.
Oh, yeah, I didn't make up the policy. I'm just reading off a bit of paper like the rest of us.
Yes, but I was accused of speculation that you're using something yet again as a firm directive.
Well, no, because you were
Yes.
talking about what you thought would happen in the future. I'm just reading off a bit of paper, which, incidentally,
Yes,
you
but-
hadn't read because you seem quite surprised by the 10 years.
I have read it, but again, continue to insult my intelligence.
Well, Peter, why did it come as such a surprise to you that this reverted to...
It didn't.
Well, it did.
It didn't.
Okay, well, we'll play that clip back later because
I will.
Nicola says, Nicola in Norfolk, Britain is currently seen as a soft-touch laughingstock on the world stage. If Sebastian is so keen for the illegals to be looked after by us, then he and his type who argue for them can put them up on their sofa if they haven't got a spare room. Peter says, morning Mark, funny how it's only young men who are fleeing for their lives, so-called war-torn countries, Peter in Suffolk. And this from Trevor, who says, what about this? The reason these people are getting so many, the reason we're getting so many people here isn't because of world events. It's because they get everything once they are here. They get housing, they get food, they get money, they get healthcare, they get everything.
I just come back to this idea of why are we pitting people against each other? Why is it the people versus the migrants? Why do we have to create this conflict? Why can't we just say...
Because there's a finite amount of resources.
Well, no, that's
It's about
exactly it. That's
allocation point.
exactly it. That is the mindset
Yes.
that so many people have, and it is so infuriating. I'm sorry, this is not a personal
finite.
thing.
It is
It
finite
But it is
resources.
not, because we can grow the pie. We can grow...
Well,
we
how's
can
that-
create...
love
How's
us
that
to.
growing? I
I'd
mean,
love us to do
how's
that.
that going? We've got 1%
Yeah.
growth annually at the moment.
But that's
We
exactly...
can
what this is-
grow the pie. Did you hear that? At a time when 1.3 million British people are stuck on a waiting list that hasn't budged for years, when the country is running out of hotel space, and we've even started renovating abandoned, derelict buildings using taxpayer money, his solution is just a corporate buzz phrase, a growth mindset. Seriously, this debate is the perfect example of exactly why the political class keeps failing. Peter Barnes walked in with facts, statistics, and the hard reality of the British border situation. Sebastian, on the other hand, came armed with emotions, complaints about his intelligence being insulted, and this kind of wishful, magical thinking as if we have unlimited resources. And when he said, I fundamentally don't understand, he wasn't exaggerating. That was the most honest thing he said the entire time. Because the truth is, they genuinely don't understand why you're angry. So what do you think? Does Sebastian really not understand the problem? Or is he acting like he doesn't? Drop your opinions in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts. And if you want more videos like this, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching.